All eyes are on Greenland as Vice President JD Vance and an American delegation prepare for a scaled-back trip to the territory tomorrow. Greenlanders and Denmark have made it abundantly clear how they feel about this trip, and it's not good. Greenland protesting the Vance's visit, giving the U.S. the Arctic cold shoulder with signs reading, "We are not for sale," and "Yankee, go home." And now we're seeing a change in itinerary. Instead of a cultural heritage tour that was to include a dog sled race, the new itinerary is limited to U.S. military installations, flying straight to a base to meet with personnel. The president, though, reiterating his desire for the U.S. to acquire the territory, saying, quote, "We need Greenland for international safety and security." For more, I'd like to welcome in former Denmark Ambassador Rufus Gifford. Ambassador, thank you so much for your time today. We know the Vances are not invited to Greenland. We know leaders there have been clear that this territory is not up for grabs. What are your thoughts on the White House sending, the VP to the territory?
Well, listen, Nichole, I am very troubled by it. And I think what's happening here is that you're seeing the Vice President of the United States. He is the victim in many ways of his rhetoric here. When you repeatedly talk about some of our greatest allies, he's talked about Denmark just as recently as Sunday being not a good ally. And as you mentioned, both the Danes and the Greenlanders asked them, please do not schedule this trip right now. And yet they did it anyway. And I think that, and yes, I mean, can you blame them? Can you blame the Greenlanders and the Danes for rising up and say no? That we are Greenland. We have a say here, and you can't behave in this, frankly, somewhat imperialistic way when it comes to our land, our territory, our country. So I'm not surprised. I've been to Greenland 9 times. It's a very, very they're a wonderful people, but it's complicated, and the history is complicated, and our relationship with the Kingdom of Denmark has been so rich and powerful and so important to the freedom and security of the world, of the West. And it's depressing to me to watch the way the Trump administration talks about our alliances. So I am frustrated by it. I have to be completely honest with you. And I think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake for Americans. I think it's a mistake for this administration to move forward with this trip at this time.
Well, Ambassador, as you mentioned, the U.S. and Denmark are allies. And Greenland's prime minister says the only purpose of this trip is to demonstrate power. Do you agree?
Well, look, I don't want to get inside the head of Donald Trump or JD Vance. I'm not here to do that. This is what I do know, Nichole. What I do know is that Greenland would love nothing more than to have a closer relationship with the United States. Geographically, they're part of North America. They would love more American tourists to visit them, all of that. They would love more American investment. They would welcome a greater military presence on Greenland. In fact, we had a greater military presence on Greenland till the end of the Cold War, until we pulled back. So listen, I would love nothing more than for us to do what good allies do, which is sit across the table from each other, negotiate. Sometimes you're going to agree, sometimes you're going to disagree, but treat them with respect. And frankly, what I have seen from the Trump administration is ever since Donald Trump tweeted that he was planning to take over Greenland is nothing but disrespect for our allies. And I know this, and being the person who had to go to the prime minister or the foreign minister of Denmark and ask them to send their brave young men and women into combat alongside Americans. And they always said yes. They never hesitated. They are a fantastic ally. We should respect them as such. And I just do not see this administration doing that.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.